and the school over a 5-year once homes are built and sold. So, food for thought. For think about it if you start going forward with things. Thank you, Don. Any questions for me?
Are we allowed to ask the question?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, the only thing the only thing I'm going to say, and it's because it's not deliberating, it's requesting to be placed on a future agenda, is I probably right now am not heavily in favor of parting with the property yet, but I do think if we've got an offer, I think it's appropriate for them to be able, for us to be able to hear that. So I personally would prefer this to go ahead and be placed on a future agenda.
I'm sorry.
I would like this to be placed on a future agenda for council consideration, regardless of whether it is approved or not. And none of that should be taken as a shot at EDC. I've spoken to Darren about this today, so I feel like Darren and I are 100% on the same page as far as that goes. So I would like to see it placed on, if not the next,
whatever,
the first one in April.
Whatever happens with it, whether it be me or Joe Blow or something else, my economic mind tells me that money to the city. Money to the city. We've got 30-some-odd thousand feet of land at the community center right now that's pretty well vacant. So just my 2 cents worth for that. So thank you for your time.
No matter what, we'd have to go out for bidding anyway, correct?
Exactly.
We couldn't pick a winner.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, we'd have to go out for bids. Okay.
I'm sorry,
The previous discussion, he said we'd have to go out for bids.
Oh, yeah, sure, I understand that.
Yeah, the previous discussion was that Leanne had brought to us the report that's supposed to be due next month, I think, and the council had said we were going to wait until we heard from that. So
I think
the general guidance we would get.
if you get to that point where it does go out for bids, and let's say I bid on it at X dollars, and somebody says, well, I want it more than you, and you don't know.
Right.
Well, it would have to be, for me, it would have to be under the umbrella of single-family homes.
Well, the main council determined, but that's what I would do if we went with you put 5 homes on that. That would be my
So,
plan.
Don, here's the thing. It's not that we necessarily want to turn that into a park. It is part of the master plan, and to earn enough points to qualify for almost $500,000 worth of grants, which will be in addition to a grant we can get to rehab the community center as it is. That area right now is better as a proposed park. So that's why the council agreed to keep it for now until we get the master plan turned in for the grant. Once that's over with, we don't have to keep it as a park. No one has decided it as a park. And
Well,
the
one thing to
property,
keep in mind, if whatever land you take, and that's 36,000 feet, you already have parking at the community center, because you have to have parking. You can't have people park on the streets down there. You can't do that. So you need to think that every 4 parking spots take about 1,000 square feet. So if you take 20 parking spots, what is that, 5,000 feet? Yeah. And if you take 30 parking spots, so you're cutting into whatever area that you've got. At the community center, you've already got 40-plus parking spaces over there, and it's already paid for. So as you think about things, think about the economics, and the economics to the city. I mean, in a perfect world, well, we're not in a perfect world, where dollars dictate what we do with so many different things. Anybody?
The question, you had asked about the Black Oak.
What's that?
The Black Oak property. The 2 that are built are in the 560 range.
Yeah.
So
I know.
you said,
And I thought
you didn't know that, so.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
But I personally would look at building something similar to what we did.
Right.
That would be in the $350,000 to $400,000 range. I think you can sell them a lot easier. Even that's nice down there, but
Sure.
I've been in the homes, and that would be what we'd be with something similar to what we did over there. And yeah, my figure may be low. When I put 1.6 million, that could be low, but I'm being a little conservative. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.
Was there anyone else wishing to speak during public testimony? Seeing none, we'll go to the consent agenda. All items under this section are recommended for approval for the consent agenda. These items are of a routine nature and require only brief deliberation by council. Council reserves the right to remove any item on the consent agenda for further deliberation. Those items are A, approve minutes of February 28th regular council meeting. B, approve bills payable for period ending February 28th. C, approve economic development agreement for business improvement grant with Atomic Then and Now located at 5410 River Oaks Boulevard as recommended by the Economic Development Corporation.
I'd like for you to pull C off for explanation.
Okay, so we'll pull C. Do I have a motion on A and B?
Motion to approve consent agenda items A and B.
I have a motion and a second to approve consent agenda items A and B. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. We'll now move to item number 7, which is discussion or action taken on items withdrawn from consent agenda, which is item C, the economic development agreement with Atomic Then and Now.
I don't know if any of you had a chance to look at your emails today with the changes that Bradley and I came up with today to it. Well, actually Bradley. Anyway, I wanted you to know those changes from what we approved at EDC, which don't change anything that we did, but I don't know if you have it before you. If you don't, I could tell you that on page 2 on the eligible costs, we put in construction of capitalized improvements located on the property. Under the term, we said that now has not Atomic Then and Now has not commenced and made substantial progress, or now has, if they have not commenced and made substantial progress on the property and improvements within 30 days from the date of execution of the agreement, this agreement will terminate and the corporation shall have no further obligation hereunder. Under the covenants, we said that they receive the permit approval within 30 days from the date of the approval by the city council. And under the number 2, we added the design subject to approval by city and corporation and complete the construction of the improvement within 120 days. That's pretty well standard what we've had in all of them. And then under payments by the corporation, I had $1,500 in there and then $1,750 in parentheses at $1,750. I corrected that, and I believe that's the only changes that we made to it, but I just wanted you to know that before I approved it. EDC did recommend its approval.
More discussion on item C?
Move for approval of item number C on the economic development agreement with 410 River Oaks Boulevard as recommended by Economic Development Corporation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve consent agenda item C. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 8, which is consider approval to amend the December 13th, 2022 council order on the substandard property at 4844 Hartford.
Mr. Purvis is here tonight. He wasn't here at the last meeting when we discussed this. Y'all gave us a board order, which he ended up fulfilling. We talked about what needed to be done. He has now paid his permit fees. He's paid the substandard fee of $150. His electrical contractor paid their permit fee and has brought it up, or has it ready for final inspection. Steve wasn't able to get to it today. He will get to it tomorrow. But that has been done. He gave me a plan of action for y'all to consider. It's right behind the cover sheet. If y'all didn't get a chance to look at it, where he's requesting 89 days. This order is expired, and he's wanting to extend it, which we have looked at doing in the past, but we wanted to see substantial progress when they did. So I'd rather he probably come up and any questions you have.
Before you say something, would you clarify what's ready for inspection now?
The electrical's all brought up to code, and we're just waiting on Steve to finalize it tomorrow. Is that correct, Mr. Purvis?
Yes.
you'll give your name and address for...
Arlen Purvis, the property's at 4844 Hartford. My